बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम अल्लाहुम्मा रब्बि ज़िदनी इल्मा सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम आमीन अल्हम्दुलिल्लाहि रब्बिल आलमीन। In this lecture, I will discuss the solutions of P1 variant 11 of June 21. Well, all these instructions are very important, especially this last one. Give non-exact numerical answers correct to 3 significant figures or 1 decimal place for angles and degrees unless a different level of accuracy is specified in the question. Always go through and follow these instructions before solving the paper. Some important tips to solve the paper in a good way. Number 1, avoid shortcuts. Number 2, read the questions carefully. Number 3, do neat work. Question number 1. The equation of a curve is such that it is given that the curve passes through the point half comma 4. Find the equation of the curve. Since gradient is given, therefore by integrating this gradient, we can get the equation of the curve. So this is the simplified form of dy upon dx of this equation. When you will integrate this thing, you will get y. When you will integrate x power minus 4, you will get x power minus 3 over minus 3. We never integrate the coefficient, we always copy the coefficient. So copy this 32 here, this will become x power 4 divided by 4. And this is the constant of integration. And this is the simplified form of this equation. Now, by substituting this point into this equation, we can get the value of c. Do these calculations carefully. This is 1 upon 8. When you will simplify this, this will become minus 8. After getting the value of c, substitute c back into this equation to get the equation of the curve. This is the required equation of the curve. Question number 2. The sum of the first 20 terms of an AP is 405. This information means S20 is 405. And the sum of the first 40 terms means S40 is 1410. This is here. So we will form two equations with the help of these two given conditions, and then we will get the values of A and D. So S20, this will become 10. This is 2A plus 19D. You all know the formula of Sn for AP. This is n upon 2, 2 plus n minus 1 times D. So when you will put 20 here, this is 20 upon 2, so this will become 10. This is 19D. Similarly for S40, this will become 20 and this will become 39. So this is the equation number 1 and this is the equation number 2. By solving these two equations simultaneously, we have got the values of A and D. A is 6 and D is 1.5. Now we need 60th term, T60. So T60 will be A plus 59D. This is the formula of Tn of AP. So when you will write T60, this will become 59. So A is 6, D is 1.5, this is 59 because this is 60. This is the final answer. Next question. This question is of binomial expansions. Find the first 3 terms in the expansion of. So when you will expand this, you will get 3 power 5, first term. Put minus sign because this is negative. When we have negative sign here, we expand the expansion with alternate signs. So first plus, second minus, third plus and minus and so on. So this is 5c1 because this is 5. First term to the power 4. This is the difference of these two. This is the difference of these two numbers. And this one is here. You all know the binomial theorem. This is 5c2, 3 power 3, 2x power 2. So 3 power 5 is 243. This is 5. 3 power 4 is 81. This is 2x. So this will become 810. This will become 1080. This is the answer of this part. First three terms. In ascending powers of x. This is in ascending powers of x. Part B. Hence, find the coefficient of x square in the expansion of. So we need to expand this by means of a plus b whole square. So this is 16 plus 8x plus x square. And we need to copy the expanded form of this expansion from here to here. This is the answer of first part. Now we need coefficient of x square. For that we need to multiply those terms which will give us x square. So we need to multiply selected terms. Therefore, when we will multiply x square with this, we'll get coefficient of x square 243. When we will multiply 8x with this, we'll get coefficient of x square. And when we will multiply 16 with this, we'll get coefficient of x square. So whenever we have this situation or this type of situation, we always multiply the selected terms. There is no need to multiply both the expansion completely. Just multiply those terms which will give you coefficient of x square. 16, when you multiply 16 with this, you will get coefficient of x square. Similarly, when you will multiply 8 with this, you will get coefficient of x square. And when you will multiply x square with this, you will get coefficient of x square. This is the final answer. Well, this question is of transformations of functions and trigonometry. You need to observe the curve carefully. You need to identify the transformation, especially translation. Normal tan curve. You all know the normal tan curve starts from origin. This is the normal tan curve. If you extend this curve here on negative side, then you will get this thing. This is minus pi by 2. This is pi by 2. So this is the normal tan curve. And it always starts from origin. Y is equal to tan x. But this curve started from this point, not from this point, not like this. So this curve is shifted pi by 4 to the right. Otherwise this curve should have started from here. So since this curve is shifted pi by 4 to the right, therefore this is translation. Pi by 4, and this curve has shifted 1 unit up as well, like pi by 4 to the right and 1 unit up. So this is translation of pi by 4 and 1. So we have identified the transformation pi by 4 and 1. So this is the equation of this curve. Y is equal to a tan x minus b plus c. So we need to substitute the translation vector into this equation. So we'll get this thing a tan x minus pi by 4 plus 1, because this means, this equation means translation b and c. The x component is b and y component is c. So b is pi by 4 and c is 1. We have got the values of b and c. Now for the value of a, we have to substitute that point into this equation, which will not make this tan 0. So we have to find a point which will not convert tan x to 0. So this point is simple. When we will substitute this point into this equation, then this tan will not be 0 and we will get the value of a. So substitute a point or that point which will not convert this tan to 0. If you will substitute this point pi by 4 comma 1, then this will be 0. When tan is 0, then a will be 0. So don't substitute this point. Substitute that point, for example this one, which will not convert this tan to 0. So by substituting pi by 2 comma 3 into this equation, we have this thing. So 3 minus 1 makes 2, and this is tan pi by 4, and you all know tan pi by 4 is 1. So a is 2. So we have got all the values. We have got the value of b, we have got the value of c, and we have got the value of a. We had to find the values of a, b and c into this question. In this question. So number 1, observe the curve carefully. Identify the transformations. This means vertical translation and horizontal translation, meaning combined transformation, combined translation. So you must know how to identify the translations. This equation means, this part means horizontal translation and this means vertical translation. So combined translation with vector b and c. So after observing this equation and writing this translation vector, observe this curve. Normal tan curve starts from origin, but this curve started from this point. So you have to check the coordinates of this point. So this means pi by 4 to the right and 1 unit to the up. So translation vector according to this point will be pi by 4 and 1. So b is pi by 4 and c is 1. Now substitute the values of b and c into this equation for the value of a. Now for a, consider or substitute that point from this curve or this curve which will not convert this tan to 0. I substituted this point and I got the value of a. This is the fair solution. Next question. The fifth, sixth and seventh terms of a GP are. So this is T5th, this is T6th and this is T7th. So when 3 consecutive terms of GP are given, then always use this formula to make the calculation simple. Given that k is negative, this is very important. While finding the value of k, you have to write the negative value. You have to ignore the positive value. Find the sum to infinite. So according to this formula, we have this equation. Now by cross multiplication here, we have got the value of k, minus 3. We are getting k square is 9, but we have to state the negative value because k is negative. Now, after getting the value of k, substitute k either here or here to get the value of r. I substituted this here, this is here, and I got the value of r half. Now, either use t5th or t6th or t7th to get the first term, to get the value of a. So for a, I use t6 because t6 is simple. This is minus 12. I use this, and t6 is a power, r power 5, and after substituting the value of r 0.5, we have got a. Now, you all know the formula of sum to infinite. It's a upon 1 minus r. So by substituting a here and r here, we have got the sum to infinite. The most important part of this question is this formula. So when 3 consecutive terms are given, then always use this formula to make the calculation simple. And the second important part of this question is k is negative. So you have to state the negative value of k here. Next question. The equation of a curve is this, where k is a constant. This is the equation of the line which is tangent to the curve. Find the value of k. So tangent means b square minus 4ac is equal to 0. So first we need to substitute this y here to get the standard quadratic equation, this equation. This is a, this is b, and this is c. Now use this discriminant because line is tangent. Because of this square, this negative will be eliminated. So when you will expand this, you will get this thing. When you will multiply these two brackets, you will get this thing. When you will simplify this equation, you will get this equation. When you will simplify this, you will get k minus 3 whole square. Finally, you have got the value of k, which is 3. The most important part of this question is this. Make sure you write the standard equation in its simplified form. This is the simplified form of the standard quadratic equation. This minus should be common, and this should be 6 minus k. And the next important part is when you will square this, this will be eliminated, and this will be k square plus 6k minus 9. Must arrange the equation in the simplified form. This is the most simplified form of the quadratic equation, of this equation. This question is very important. Prove the identity. So in order to prove this thing, we need to replace this one by sine square theta plus cos square theta. If you will replace this by sine square theta plus cos square theta, then this identity will be very easy to prove. And when you will simplify this, you will get this thing. Now you just need to break the LCM. When you will break the LCM, you will get this thing and this thing. This is 1 and this is tan square theta. See, I substituted or I replaced 1 by this thing. And this identity is very simple after that. So try to replace 1 by sine square theta plus cos square theta. The next part of this question is solve this equation. This word hence means use the answer of previous part. The answer of previous part was 1 minus tan square theta. So this is 1 minus tan square theta and this is 2 tan power 4 theta. Now this is the standard quadratic equation. Now you have to break the middle term. When you will break the middle term, you will get this thing. And now you just need to take common from these two terms and these two terms. From these two terms, we have 2 tan square theta here, and this is tan square theta plus 1. From here, minus 1 tan square theta plus 1. So we have two values of tan square theta. This is invalid because of a square, we will not get real roots. And this means tan is in both the quadrants, because this is plus minus. When you take a square root, you write plus minus. Tan is in first quadrant and in second quadrant according to this domain. First get the value of alpha, which is 35.3. So in first quadrant, answer 35.3. In the second quadrant, the answer will be 180 minus 35.3, which is 144.7. And make sure you give your answer up to 1 decimal place. 1 decimal place, 1 decimal place. Question number 8. The diagram shows a symmetrical metal plate. The plate is made by removing two identical pieces from a circular disc with center C. The boundary of the plate consists of two arcs PS and QR of the original circle and two semicircles, this and this. The radius of the circle with center C is 4. So this is 4. Show that angle PCS is 2 pi by 3. We have to prove this angle. And this is also given that this length is 4. PQ is 4 and RS is also 4. This is here. So this is very simple. This triangle is equilateral. So all angles should be of each of pi by 3. So this angle is pi by 3. So this will be 2 pi by 3. 2 pi by 3. Since this triangle is equilateral, so this angle is pi by 3. In fact, all angles are of pi by 3. So this will be pi minus pi by 3. Which is 2 pi by 3. The next part, find the exact perimeter of the plate. For perimeter, we need this length, and these two lengths, meaning perimeter will be 2 arcs, 2 times arc PS, because both arcs are same. Arc PS plus 2 times this arc and this arc, or you can say circumference of circle, or arc PQ. So you have two ways, either write circumference of circle, because these two will make the circumference of circle, and 2 times this arc. You can easily get the length of this arc with the help of this formula r theta. So r is 4 and theta is 2 pi by 3. Here is the solution. First part, PCQ. This triangle is equilateral, so this angle is pi by 3. I have mentioned triangle PCQ is equilateral, PCQ is pi by 3 because of this. And PCS is very simple. This is a straight line, so PCS is pi minus pi by 3, 2 pi by 3 because of adjacent angles. It's mentioned that PS and QR and PQ and RS as diameter. Now the next part, perimeter. Perimeter means this length plus these two lengths. So arc PS, you can easily get this length with the help of this formula r theta. This is r and this is theta. And semicircle, this one, pi r. and the radius of semicircle is 2. Now you just need to add these two and multiply answer by 2. So that's the exact perimeter. You can take the screenshot of the solution if you want. Next part. Show that the area of the plate is this. For the area of this plate, we need to subtract this segment, this semicircle and this semicircle from this large circle. So if we will subtract these two segments and these two semicircle or one circle from this large circle, then we will get the area of this plate. This is here. So area is area of larger circle minus area of two segments minus area of small circle. How to get area of segment? How to get this area? This is simple. You just need to write this sector minus triangle. This is the sector. So sector minus this triangle will give you this area. So area of sector is half r square theta. And area of triangle is very simple, half AB sin C, half 4 square sin pi by 3. So this is the area of this segment. Since both segments are same, therefore we just need to multiply this answer by 2. This is here. This is the area of sector and this is the area of the triangle. And this answer should be multiplied by 2. Now we need area of this circle. These two will make a single circle, like small circle. So area of this circle is pi r square, which is pi 2 square. So when you will simplify this, you will get this thing. When you will further simplify this, you will get your answer. You can take the screenshot of this solution as well. Next question. This is f and this is g and these are their domains. State the range of f. For range, always make a rough sketch with respect to given domain. So this is the rough sketch of this function f with respect to this domain 2. When you will put 2, you will get minus 4. After sketching the rough sketch or making the rough sketch, just observe the trend of values of y. See, y is increasing. Y is increasing from minus 4. So that's the range of this function f with respect to this domain. The expression of f inverse is very simple. We just need to replace f of x by y first, and then we need to make this bracket subject like this, and then we need to take a square root. When you will take square root, make sure you take plus sign here, because according to this domain x is increasing. So take positive sign here. Whenever domain has greater sign, whenever we have this part of the curve, the right side of the turning point, whenever we have right side of the turning point, we always take plus sign here. So now you have to make x subject like this, and at the end you need to replace x by f inverse x and y by x. Make sure you must replace y by x. This is the expression of f inverse. Now given that a is minus 5 by 3, solve this equation. So we just need to equate f of x and g of x with a minus 5 by 3. This is g of x. So when you will write a minus 5 upon 3 here, you get this equation. When you will expand this and when you will simplify this, you will get this quadratic equation. You just need to break the middle term here. We are getting two answers, but according to this domain, we have to ignore the negative answer. So this is the final answer because of this domain. Next part of this question. Given in state that G F inverse 12 is 62. So first we need to find F inverse 12. We have the expression of F inverse. This is the expression of F inverse. We will put 12 here. So when we will put 12 here, this will become 16, which will become 4. So 4 plus 2 makes 6. So F inverse 12 is 6. Now we have to solve this thing. G F inverse 12. So we need to substitute this thing by 6 because the answer of F inverse 12 is 6. So we need to find G6 in fact. So G6 is very simple, 6a plus 2. We have the expression of G. Now we have to solve this thing. See, we have this thing. This entire thing is 6a plus 2. See, this entire thing is 6a plus 2. So replace this by 6a plus 2 here. Now replace x of g by 6a plus 2, which is this. Let me write g of x here. G of x was ax plus 2. So when you will replace this x by 6a plus 2 here, you'll get this thing. Now just solve this equation and get the two values of a. Next question. The equation of a circle is this. Find the x coordinates of the points A and B where the circle intersects the x-axis. So this means this thing, AB. This point is A and this point is B, for example. X comma 0, x comma 0, this line is x-axis. So we need to substitute y0 into this equation for the x coordinates of A and B. So when we will substitute y0 here and here, we'll get this equation. When we will simplify this or factorize this, we'll get two values of x. So we can suppose this as A minus 70 and this is B 11,0. Find the point of intersection of the tangents to the circle at A and B. So we just need to draw two tangents here. One tangent is here, one tangent is here. Two tangents to the circle. This is the point of intersection. This thing is here. This is the rough sketch of this situation. Tangent at B, tangent at A. We need this point. For that we need to find equations of these two tangents. We can easily get equations of these two tangents. First we need gradient of this line, gradient of this line. Since radius is perpendicular to tangent, so we can easily get the gradient of this line. So gradient of AC will help you to get the gradient of this tangent, and gradient of BC will help you to get the gradient of this tangent. We have the coordinates of these 2 points A and B, so we can easily get the equations of these two. This is here. See, before finding the gradient, we need the coordinates of center. For that, we need to compare this equation with the standard equation of circle. For the coordinates of center, we need to compare this with this equation, the expanded form of the standard equation of circle. So 2g is minus 4 and 2f is 6. So we have the coordinates of center of this circle. Now we need gradient of AC first. So gradient of AC is minus 1 upon 3. Since this is minus 1 upon 3, so gradient of this line will be 1 upon, 3. Now we need gradient of this line. So for that we need gradient of BC. Gradient of BC is 1 upon 3. So this is 1 upon 3 So the gradient of this line will be minus 3. And this is the rough sketch. This is not the right sketch of this situation. So after getting the gradients of both the tangents, we can easily get the equation of both the tangents. This is tangent at A and this is tangent at B. By solving these two equations simultaneously, we have got the point of intersection of both the tangents. You can see the solution again. First part is simple. Second part is here. This is the rough sketch of this situation. First, find the coordinates of the center by comparing this equation with the expanded form of the equation of circle, this equation. And after getting the coordinates of center, get the gradient of AC, which is minus 1 upon 3. So with the help of this gradient, we can get the gradient of this tangent, which is 3. And we have point, we have gradient of this line, we can get the equation of this tangent. Similarly, find gradient of BC first and then find gradient of this tangent. Then use this point and gradient of this line and get the equation of this line. This is the point of intersection of both the tangents. So by solving equations of these two tangents simultaneously, we can get the point of intersection P. Next question, 11. This is the equation of a curve. Find the equation of normal, which means we need gradient of tangent first by differentiating this equation with respect to x. So when you will differentiate this, you will get 1 upon 2 under root and the differential of root is 3. And x will become minus 1. This is the simplified form of this gradient. Now at x4, we have gradient of tangent, which is minus 1 upon 4. But we need equation of normal. For that, we need gradient of normal. Gradient of normal is inverse reciprocal of the gradient of tangent. So it should be 4. This is the required equation of this normal. Next part. Find the coordinate of the stationary point. This is so simple. We just need to equate gradient to 0. This gradient to 0. When we will equate this gradient to 0, we will get the x coordinate of the turning point. Now substitute this x coordinate into this equation of curve to get the y coordinate. So when you will substitute this x here, you will get this y, 13 upon 3. So the coordinates of the stationary points are 5 upon 3 and 13 upon 3. Next part. Determine the nature of the stationary point. For that, we need to differentiate gradient to get the second derivative. So this is the simplified form of gradient. When you will differentiate this, this will become d2y over dx2. This 3 is here. This power will become coefficient and you have to subtract this by minus 1. So you'll get minus 3 upon 2 and the differential of this bracket is 3 and this will become 0. Now when we will substitute 5 upon 3 into this equation, we'll get negative answer because of this negative sign. So negative answer means second derivative is negative. You have to state the numerical value of negative answer. I left this for you. You can do this yourself. So when second derivative is negative, then the point is maximum. This stationary point is maximum. Next part of this question. Find the exact area of the region bounded by the curve, the x-axis, the lines x0 and x4. So these are the lower and upper limits. This is y, equation of the curve. So when you will integrate this, you will get this thing. This power will become 3 upon 2. 3 upon 2 is here and differential of this bracket is 3. You always copy the coefficient. And this will become x square upon 2. You just need to simplify this. You need to bring this to here. It will become 4 upon 9 and just apply the limits. So when you will apply 4 here and here, you'll get this thing. When you will apply 0 here, you'll get something here, which is let me check this. When we will apply 0, then we'll get 4/9. 0 means 2 squared 3/2, and this will be 0. So this will become 2 cube is 8, 8 for the 32 over 9. So when you will simplify this, you will get this area. Make sure you apply lower limit as well, because when you will apply 0 here, this will become 0, but you have 4 and this will be 0. You can take the screenshot of this solution if you want. This is the upper limit and this is the lower limit part. Well, this is all. I hope this lecture will help you to understand the solutions of this paper. An important advice for me and for everyone: we must be sincere to others. And good luck, and Allah Hafiz.